Salute to all the Patreon members, all the subscribers. I want to thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot to me. Right now, if you could do me a favor, check out the links in the description box below for the Patreon page. Check out the links in the description box below for the Facebook page. Those two links, I'm going to post up a brand new video right after this on Patreon. I was recording a video last night, but I ended up not wanting to post that up, so I'm going to make a new one and, feed the Patreon members. But I salute the Patreon members. I salute the new viewers. I salute the subscribers. Thank you guys a lot. Now let's get into this. Brittany Renner said, men can't taint her because of her past. On my screen, it says your past, but I know I changed it on YouTube. It should say Brittany Renner said men can't taint her because of her past. So I want to play this one time. It's only a minute long. And then I'm going to play it again and stop and pause and give my 2 cents. Here we go.
Men fixate a lot on someone's past because they feel that another man can permanently taint a woman. You don't have that power.
You don't think
a man cannot permanently
damaged,
taint me?
But a lot of women are they've had relationships that have completely changed their personalities, the way they trust a man, the way they view men in general. I feel like you can be in a messed up relationship that can really mess you up.
But I feel like when it comes to past and a man focusing on what happened 5 years ago or what man you slept with or what guy you were with, that is thinking when this man stuck his penis in her, she no longer has value. We're the whores, but who are we all fucking? But the truth of the matter is, it's like, if you meet somebody that makes sense, whether they have a kid, whether they've been with someone publicly, why miss out on potential love of your life just because some guy dated her and it didn't work out?
That's probably the mature mindset.
All right, so this video is brought to you by Curious Mike. Curious Mike is the host in this interview that he's conducting. He was actually interviewing 2 women, Brittany Renner and another woman. I can't remember what her name is. But let me scroll this back. Let's roll this back. All right. So she's saying men can't taint her because of her past. So I'm going to play and stop and pause.
Men fixate a lot on someone's past because they feel that another man can permanently taint a woman. You don't have that power.
You don't think
a man cannot permanently
damaged,
taint me?
But a lot of women are they've had relationships that have completely changed their personalities, the way they trust a man, the way they view men in general. I feel like you can be in a messed up relationship that can really mess you up.
But I feel like when it comes to past and a man focusing on what happened 5 years ago or what man you slept with or what guy you were with, that is thinking when this man stuck his penis in her, she no longer has value.
No, that's not what we're saying. That doesn't make any sense. All right. And I could tell this is an emotional subject matter for her because her voice was shaking. I thought she was going to start tearing up a little bit within the interview because her voice, it sounded like she was about to cry. All right. You're talking about the example that she gave was you're fixated on what this person did 5 years ago. They've changed. They're not like that anymore. And, now that this man stuck his penis in her, she no longer has value. No man has ever said that. All right. Now, somebody who is, I know, I won't even say she was walking in the faith of Islam. She was playing in our faces with Islam. Right. So within hardcore religious beliefs, she's probably bringing that thought pattern over to the main stage of media and talking about this in a podcast. But in general, because I'm not even going to stamp her with the faith of Islam anymore. You were just playing in a lot of people's faces, which is really blasphemous. And I'm not religious, but I can't respect for you. I can't really have respect for you if you're playing in people's faces, people's religious beliefs in their faces like that. But you gave an example about what somebody did 5 years ago. It was just 2 weeks ago you was acting a damn fool and cutting up. It was about a week or two ago when you was literally doing a drop off with your baby daddy who you didn't marry, right? And you were acting a damn fool in the driveway, looked like it was your parents' house, right? Your mom was acting a fool with you, recording, instigating. That was just last week, 2 weeks ago. Don't tell me about 5 years ago when in your 30s, you were a walking red flag. You was just a walking red flag 2 weeks ago, right? Then a couple months ago, you stepped out with one of the weirdest males in entertainment, acting like you guys were married or you were getting married, right? And it's not possible because he's still married to his other wife. So you did a religious marriage and you did it in the faith of Islam. And then you were divorced within like, what, 3 to 6 weeks? All this happened this year, right? Instigating a fight between your baby daddy, his new wife, so that possibly you could send this back to the courts, maybe up the child support, get full custody. I don't know. Painting up a bullshit narrative for government daddy to take it back to the court system. You just did that 2 weeks ago. Now, am I saying that PJ Washington was innocent? No, because you could have done a drop off with somebody else. Somebody else could have came over and done something mutual. You could have had her drop the child off at a daycare and then you come along 20, 30 minutes later and pick up your child at the daycare without running into the mother and the grandmother. So there was some mistakes made on his part. I hope he doesn't make those mistakes again. We didn't see anything like this. So the Billy Barnett, she's bipolar. Yeah, seems to be. We didn't see any issues of drop-offs and handoffs to your baby daddy. And how old is the child? Like 6 or 7? Within the years your child has been born, we haven't seen any issues. But now all of a sudden we're seeing issues one time 2 weeks ago with a drop-off. And coincidentally, you're not married anymore. You're at your parents' house. Right? It seems like your mother's coaching you into doing the shit that you're doing. And let's look at things in the past that she's done. You was on a podcast. I know Charleston White was on there. I forgot the name of the podcast, but behind the camera was, damn, what's that boxer's name from New York? I can't think of his name right now. The boxer was behind the camera. You were cursing. You were throwing shit. You gave Charleston White a lap dance. You cursed out everybody in the studio. People thought you was on something. Then there was another moment in time when Deion Sanders brought you in to talk to his guys about not being able, looking out for women like you, right? Which is almost like it's not even a backhanded compliment. It's really, okay, this is what you're certified in. Teach other guys that are young coming up in the ranks in college football how to spot women like you and how to stay away from women like you and what women like you do to guys like them, right? That was not something honorable. You showed up for that to talk about yourself and other women like you, to talk about how low down and shitty other women like you are preying on athletes like them, right? You were brought in for that. You was brought in and you thought it was something honorable when really you was the opening act of a circus. You was the main event of a circus, right? You're a circus act. Salute to J Bones for the $4.99 super sticker. Then before, there was one infamous video which most people were introduced to the world by her sitting in her car talking about all the men that she slept with, right? You get on Shannon Sharp's podcast, talking more whole shit, right? Giving more information. Then I think on that same podcast or a different interview, you talked about how I think she had sex with like 3 different guys in one day. And by the grace of God, all she caught was a yeast infection that day. So it's like, you don't really have any talent. You have a baby daddy. The child support payments aren't that high because the court system was probably out of a Dallas court. That's originally where PJ Washington's from. It came probably, child support court was sanctioned in a Texas court, right? So your child support payments is at the max level. I thought the max was $3,500 a month. Before what I'm hearing is $2,500 a month, or that's the payments that she's getting. I thought Texas was $3,500 a month, but she claims that she's getting $2,500 a month. More than likely, you're getting more than that because $2,500 a month is going to you. And then when PJ gets his son, I'm sure he's spending more money. I'm sure he's paying for school and everything, private school, daycare, whatever the major bulk of the finances or the expenses that he needs to pay for his son. He's probably paying that on top of the $2,500 a month child support payments. All right. And a child spending time with his father. But you're not getting that. It wasn't sanctioned out of a California courtroom. Right. You're not getting the Blake Griffin treatment, the $250,000 a month, the $250,000 a month child support payments. You only getting $2,500 a month. So now it's kind of like, it's almost like Superhead, right? The days of the video vixens making a living, making money, those days are gone. You actually have to be in relationships with some of these men. The days of the video vixens of you getting a check, being seen, being on the cover of magazines, right? You hosting certain events. Oh, that's the girl from that video. That's the girl, from that video. She's on the front of magazines. Now she's at the car shows. I saw her at the BET Awards. Nobody cares. All the women that are in music videos today, nobody knows who the fuck they are. So the days of the video vixens are gone. Video vixens back then, they could fuck a bunch of guys, get paid here and there, but it's kind of like, I don't need to be with any of these men, right? I make my own money being in these videos. My phone, my agent books me all the time because of me doing this Mystical video, me doing this Master P video, me doing this Cisco video. Those days are gone. So now you just can't be in music videos and getting paid. These music videos don't cost nothing anymore. I'm not saying she was in anybody's video, but you can't really go out there and get booked by a rapper and think you're going to get a bag. You actually kind of have to be in fake ass relationships with some of these rappers in order to get a bag. You have to take it a step further, right? Either you got to be an escort or you got to take it a step further, but your name is mud out here. Even if you put your pussy out there on the market for sale, right, to be a lady of the night, nobody trusts you. You talk too much. So now you really have to rely on being in a relationship, and you've done so much, you're doing too much. You doing too much, talk too much, and your best bet was to have stayed with PJ Washington because you're seeing his new wife, the position that his new wife is in. You're not in that position in life anymore. With all due respect, you've aged, right? I'm pretty sure if you were more melanated, you wouldn't look the age that you do because, I've seen close-up photos of her. and she's definitely aged. She's not aging like milk, right? You're aging like chocolate milk or caramel milk, whatever, right? You're not aging as fast as a Caucasian woman, but you're not aging as slow as a dark-skinned melanated woman, right? Your best bet was to just stay with PJ Washington. You fumbled that, right? Then you get with one of the goofiest males, in entertainment. That didn't even last past a Super Bowl commercial. You fumbled that. Now you're doing exchanges. You're doing handoffs with your son at your mama's house. And now you're trying to come up with a new hustle. A new hustle is just being low down and dirty. Because most of the time, most women, they get the benefit of the doubt. All right. So your past, with your example that you gave, it wasn't 5 years ago. Your past that I'm seeing, it's still there. This was 2 weeks ago. So we're living in the present. You're still like this in the present, right? A lot of men don't want to be with women like this. This is why in a lot of passport bro spaces, some of these red pill spaces, sometimes men, they bring up the term virgin, all right? You're not a virgin. Remember, Kevin Samuels used to say that. Why the hell are you holding out on sex? You're not a virgin. You're a single mother, right? You were in a relationship for 6 years. So the next guy got to pay for it by you holding out on sex on him until you get married. You're not a virgin, right? You hear the term virgin coming up in these spaces. Why? Because it's easier to pair bond with a woman who hasn't had a past with anybody. Because right now, when you get with another man, you're not going to be pair bonding. It's hard for you to pair bond. You're trauma bonding with another man. This man is paying for all the mistakes you've made in the past. You haven't taken any accountability. I've seen interviews of her talking about, well, I regret, allowing men to take advantage of me when I was younger. Get the fuck out of here. No accountability. When men hear that, I'm good. How much is it? I'm good. I don't want a relationship with you. Right? This is why the term virgin comes up, because there isn't a PJ Washington that she has to correspond with. And I know I'm using a term that is like, that's very rare to find nowadays. Right? But I'm just bringing this up because you hear this term sometimes within the spaces, even though it's almost next to impossible to find somebody like that. But she's talking about how somebody's value goes down after a man enters his penis into her. But you're telling me about how good and great you are. But if you're that good and great, you wouldn't be single in this position right now as a single mother. You would have been married in your family. You wouldn't be going through this right now. You're trembling in your voice talking to this man because men have deemed you as low value, and they're not wrong. Men do not want to deal with this. There are men thirsty enough that will have sex with you. There's some men that is probably willing to deal with you in the situation and the condition that you're in. But these men are considered low value to you. You don't like these men. You don't want these men. The men that you want, right? I bet, truth be told, I bet this situation that she had with Kevin Gates, I bet in her mind she felt like okay, I'll settle with him and go through the whole rigmarole of, being in Islam. Yeah, I'll settle with him and go through this. But he's not a first choice to me. I bet she felt like she was settling with him at the time. When, to be honest, both of y'all mentally on equal playing fields. All right. So yeah, after a man enters inside of you, right? Your value determines the decision that you make after that, right? Was it just an experience? Was that a gate? Was the first dick a gateway drug for you to do and be who you are right now? Dick is like weed, right? It's the gateway drug, right? Okay, this is my vice. My man is my vice. I'm gonna just stick with this Reggie weed right here. No, most women, they go full blown fentanyl after hitting the gateway drug when they first get some dick. Like her, fucking 3 different guys in one day. Men don't want to deal with that, right? A woman who lives a life like that or who lived a life like that, it's like that could put me in danger. That could put my sexual health at risk. That could put my life in danger, because I don't know these type of men that you dealt with or used to deal with, or that you're probably still entertaining and talking to on your phone. I don't think your phone is just bone dry and men aren't tapping into you, hitting you up, and you're not responding to these men. So no, I don't trust you, especially the life that you live. You get with anybody. You'll fuck anybody. You'll fuck a basketball player. You'll fuck a football player. You'll fuck a psychiatric rapper, right, who's been in the penitentiary. You'll fuck a cartel member, right? You'll fuck a factory worker. You'll fuck a bus driver. You'll fuck a Satanist. They will fuck anybody. Look at Summer Walker. Every man that has entered into you has molded you into the person that you are today, with all the decision makings, the awful decision makings that you made, right? It said basically whatever a woman's body count is, the moment you stick your penis into it, it's almost like if she fucked her number, she said 35. That means you basically done slept with 35 people. Not so much 35 different cells or DNA strands of semen is on your dick after that, like she fucked all of them in one day. No, it's just that when somebody enters into a woman, she takes on that person's energy. She takes on that person's ideologies, and some of it, not all of it. Look at when she was with Kevin Gates. She took on his ideology. Look how she was dressed when she got with him. You don't think when she was with PJ, she wore her hair a little bit differently. She dressed differently. Now, after Kevin Gates, look how she's wearing her hair. It's nice. I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying her look is wrong. I like her look. I'll give her that respectfully. But you take on different men's ideology. You take on their energy. You take their good energy. You take their bad energy. Right? You might pick up on some of the things that they've said, some slang, right? In the middle of your new man trying to do something for you, you'll laugh. You'll look at something and laugh, right? And your man might say, "What's so funny?" Nah, it's an inside joke with a friend of mine. You know, it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh, okay. Something that you used to laugh with your ex, now it's you see something that reminds you, and now you laugh when you're with the new guy. You're bringing a lot of the new energy and the trauma into the new relationship because you didn't want to pair bond with him. You think, hey, man, I'm strong, independent. I'm going to just get what I want or need out of this person, right? Which could be sex, money, resources. Certainly wasn't a family. This woman didn't want a family. So when you're dealing with men out on the dating market, who most men are suckers for love, hopeless romantics, right? I don't want to deal with a woman like you, because if you were a hopeless romantic like me, we wouldn't be sitting here talking I know you like to bounce around from dick to dick to dick to dick to dick. I don't want to settle with a woman who's in her 30s, been ran through by the NFL, been ran through by the Major League Baseball Association, been ran through by the NHL, been ran through by the NBA, been ran through by BET. I don't want to deal with you. Hopeless romantic man. If I fall in love with you, right? Am I going to be man number 40? I'm just number 40, number 41. See, there isn't trauma bonding, right, from previous men when you're dealing with a virgin. I'm just bringing that up because, in spaces we've heard that term. There isn't somebody you're trauma bonding who's a virgin with other men. The trauma bonding might come from, a parent, a family member, right? Being poor, financial issues, economic deprivation. We all got problems. Like, nobody's perfect, right? I don't know one woman who I've ever dealt with where it's kind of like I didn't have to deal with her past in some way, some shape or form, in something, right? Women bring their bullshit into the relationship. But when you're dealing with somebody who got their V card, at least it's not from a previous man. I remember one time I met up with this girl in Edmonton, right? Let's take the virgin thing off the table. She wasn't a virgin. I was living in Calgary. I used to live in Edmonton. I drove up to Edmonton to see this chick to hang out with her. We doing our thing. We doing what grown folks do, right? But this chick, she was of age, but she was still living at her dad's house. She was mixed. Her dad was white. The dad's new girlfriend / fiance was also white. All right. Mom was some dope fiend hoe that the father impregnated. So the daughter chose, the father got custody of the daughter. All right. This woman dealt with trauma growing up because her dad's girlfriend doesn't want that hoe in the house. She didn't want her daughter in the house. This is your child. Like, I don't want to keep seeing her and being reminded on who you slept with. And it wasn't by another white woman. This is by some black whore that you had a baby by. I don't want to keep seeing her. So the stepmother or the soon-to-be stepmother kept giving his daughter hell, and the father didn't do shit about it. Right? So what did this chick end up doing? Right? Did you seek help? Did you go to a church? Did you, find a good man who had resources, that was looking for a family? The words family never came out of her mouth. No, she met a Jamaican pookie that put on a blade, and she was selling pussy for him for a minute, right? Didn't make no money, broke, dusty, crusty, musty. Got nothing to show for it. Right? And I didn't know all about this until, I was kicking with her, laid up with her in the hotel. I'm like, damn, I almost felt sorry for you. But, Canadian women, they're very honest. And I'm like, hey, look, when the time came for me to go back to Calgary, I went my way, she went her way. I blocked her number. Why? I don't want to trauma bond with you. It's already bad enough that you're dealing with your dad. Your dad is cool, but he's soft, not checking his girlfriend over, his own flesh and blood. Why? Because he's probably wondering, how the hell did I end up with another woman? As goofy and weird as he looked, right? I don't want to deal with the trauma bond. I don't want to trauma bond with you over what you got going on with your parents. And then on top of that, you didn't make good decisions in your dating life. You chose not even a real pimp, right? You chose a goofy who didn't want to go out there and get a job himself. So he's using you to get money for him to support his bad habits. And you're left with nothing. Broken, dusty, and goofy, right? I don't want to deal with that. Your past matters, right? Because some women, they get into new relationships, they bring in bad habits, bad energy from the last relationship, right? They're still not over the last guy that they was with, whether they broke up with him or not. They get with you, move real fast to try to make the last person jealous, try to get a baby up out of you, taking a whole bunch of pictures too fast, wondering how come you don't tag me on Facebook as your girlfriend. I had a chick who did that one time. Within the first couple of months, wanted a baby, wanted us to live together, and was mad that I didn't want to tag her on Facebook as her being in my relationship. I'm like, I've never posted any girl I've ever been with online. I don't do that with anybody. What are you talking about? I keep my private life private. Oh, you want everybody to know that you single. I'm not even on Facebook. I'm at the brink of deleting that shit, which I deleted it back in 2006. I deleted it back in like 2015. I'm like, I'm on the brink of deleting this shit. I don't log into this shit like that. Like, I don't give a fuck about them. I'm in a totally different country. I don't want to stay in touch with nobody I went to high school with. A lot of them are down and out lanes right now. Can't put one foot in front of the other. But sometimes some women, it's like they want to move really fast with you, make you pay for what the last person did, make you pay for their mistakes that they keep on making, and want to get the word out there to the last guy to make him mad, to make him jealous, make him upset. Like, yeah, I'm fucking somebody better than you. I got his baby on the way. Some women, they do that to get the word out there. And if you have enough experience to see that shit, you just like, I'm not, this ain't it. This ain't it. You disrespected me in the relationship, but yet you want me, you like, when are you going to give me a baby? When are you going to give me a baby? Okay, so I don't really see respect here. And then you want to move things this fast? Nah, I got to let you go. Because a lot of women, they got past just like this. You know how many women I've been with where they gave a bunch of them money to the ex-dude, right? They paid their bills, living check to check, and then the rest of the money, after all the bills they paid, they give a good chunk of their check over to the dude, the ex-dude. Man, I was going broke because I was giving my ex so much money. How long y'all was with each other? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? She broke, these women, they'll break up with them because they lose respect for them. I remember one chick, she was giving her ex so much money, this dude was turning around, taking that money and buying Oxycontin with it. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be the last time I meet up with you. Sex is cool, but no more after this. I don't want to deal with somebody who has piss poor decision-making skills like that. Most women have piss poor decision-making skills, and it can cost you your livelihood. Hold on, let's play some more of this.
With that is thinking when this man stuck his penis in her, she no longer has value. We're the whores, but who are we all fucking? But the truth of the matter is, it's like, if you meet somebody that makes sense, whether they have a kid.
That makes sense to you? you haven't done anything that made sense. See, it makes sense in the position that you're in right now because of the type of person that you are. And now you want somebody, but you want guys to forget about everything that you said on the internet. You want people to erase the internet. You want to be Mia Khalifa. That's what she wants to be. It's not going anywhere. There's a TikToker who went up to Mia Khalifa and she asked her, like, hey, you know, so what's your name? Yeah, my name's Mia. And so what do you do for a living? Or I make jewelry. And then it just cut to a bunch of other memes and animals giving her the side eye with a whole bunch of like, you know, sound effect. It was funny, right? That stuff needs to be up there. Why? Because I don't, men mentally are traditional, right? You want to do the whole thing and then move on traditionally. But no, men want women who are traditional from the start. If we're going to invest that much effort and our minds into you like that, if I'm making that much of an investment, right? This is why it kills me when women say, well, all men are this, all men, they don't want to be in a relationship, all men are this, that, and the third. Man, I don't know what kind of men you talking about. You talking about the 7-8%, right? I'm talking about the majority of men, especially in the Black community, are single with no kids. The majority of men, brothers in America, they don't have women to have sex with on a regular basis. You're talking about the 55% of males who are single and childless. And it's probably more than that. The other men, right, who probably have a kid, but they're single with no girl. Man, a lot of brothers, not only just brothers, but men of all different races, they don't get sex on a regular basis like that. They're hopeless romantics. They really only get attention from other women when they get into a relationship where they have a woman by their side. When you go out places with a woman on your side, other women will sneak and talk to you while your woman goes to the bathroom. That's when women come your way. Or if you use your money, right, and you do a business transaction, or you just that dude, but it's a very small percentage of males who are really that dude like that. And some of these guys that you see that are getting it, they always with a woman or whatever. Some of these guys are sharing women with other men. All right, so let me play more of this. Hold on. No, it don't make sense. Obviously, it didn't make sense because this didn't work out. It didn't even last.
If you meet somebody that makes sense, whether they have a kid, whether they've been with someone publicly, why?
Your marriage didn't even last past Kwanzaa. The length of Kwanzaa, your marriage didn't even last that long.
But the truth of the matter is, it's like, if you meet somebody that makes sense, whether they have a kid, whether they've been with someone publicly, why miss out on potential love of your life just because?
No, this ain't got nothing to do about you being public with somebody. You know this ain't what it's about. She's trying to tell a new story and lie to an audience that might not be too familiar with her. The love of my life. What's love got to do with it? In this day and time, ain't no love out here. There ain't no love out here. The way you move, you trying to get a bag. You trying to get up out your mama's house. You look like Timon from The Lion King right here. You don't want to get a job. You have too much pride to get a job. You have too much pride to go back to school. You have too much pride to go get a skill. Your only skill is begging, crying, doing interviews, and try to rebrand your image. But your image is crushed. Now, she will come up on another simp. I can feel it. She will come up on another simp, but it's kind of like you need money and time to get back out there. And it seems like you don't really have. I don't know. I don't know a situation. You know, let me rephrase that. But I'm pretty sure there are people getting at you, but it's nobody serious. There's nobody that wants to take you serious that you want.
Someone publicly, why miss out on potential love of your life just because some guy dated her and it didn't work out?
That's probably the mature mindset.
Yeah. All right. So look here. We all make decisions, right? We all have choices. We all make choices. You made your choice. You made all the choices that you made. Now you got to live with it, right? Now you got to be like auntie and them. Now you got to be like mom and them and just live your days out of being single. And hopefully when you get older, you know, you can act innocent enough to where your children will feel sorry for you when you get older and they'll take care of you. Right? But in the state that you're in right now, you're not healed and ready to be in a situation with a man. And, you know, according to the words of Kevin Samuels, in the danger zone. And she knows it. That's why her voice was trembling in this interview. You know it. You look down, things aren't as tight as they used to be. You in the gym 20 minutes longer. Your macros are a lot lower than what they used to be. You say, hey, I used to be able to snack on a treat here and there, you know, every other day. Now I can't do that. I used to be able to drink my drink every once in a while and enjoy a treat drinking my drink. Now I can't do that. Wrinkles are showing, grays are showing. Things aren't as tight as they used to be. Certain areas of my body are starting to smell. I got to put on more makeup. I got to put on more perfume. I got to mix my perfume now. When I step out the shower and look at myself in the mirror, I damn near start to cry. You start looking at old videos and images of yourself from 10 years ago. You start thinking, what could I have told my younger self back then? Right? But here's the thing, man. It's like at some point in time, at some time and age, no matter who it is, most of these so-called independent women that swear that they don't need a man, it all comes down to this. It all comes down to this one day at some age. Some it's at 32, 33, right? 34. Some it's at 60, like Vivica A. Fox. Talking about she want a man to take her shopping and splurge on her. Bitch, are you insane? At some point, women who live the independent, I don't need a man, These athletes, these entertainers are stupid, right? It all comes down to this.
That another man can permanently taint a woman. You don't have that power.
Yes, we do. Because you stepping out on the dating market. And here's the thing. We're the buyers at the end of the day. We're the buyers. All right, let's say you're the talent, you're the draw. Let's take PJ Washington, for example. Okay, I'm the talent, I'm the draw. I average 20 points a game, this, that, and the third. And these sponsors come along, right? Take PJ Washington off the table. Let's say she's an athlete, right? And when you was with your younger self, you were single, you were childless. With your skill set, fresh off the slab in the market, okay, you get endorsements from, you turning down endorsements, right? Adidas came at you, nah, I want Nike. I want my own shit, I want my own shoe, right? Tissot endorsement, Tissot is like a big sponsor. It's one of the NBA's biggest sponsors, right? Like, now I'm turning that down. I'm more valuable than that. And you got the leverage to get something more valuable than that. Nah, turn them down. Tissot, I'm not attaching my brand to Tissot, right? I'll attach it to Omega, right? I'll attach it to Rolex. I'll attach it to Lange and Sony. I'll attach it to Patek Philippe. But I'm not attaching it to Tissot. After a while, when you keep fucking up and making bad decisions, right? You're spitting on the field, on the court. You get caught up in allegations. You're acting a fool. It affects your performance. You get suspended. Holding guns up to the camera, right? Fighting, shootouts, right? Now your brand starts to diminish, and now all of a sudden Tissot and Adidas, they don't even want you no more. Like, good, we dodged a bullet. I'm glad this person passed up on us. They don't even have enough morals to be able for us to sponsor them, to be a part of our brand like that. We don't represent that. So now when you get back on there, you try to clean up your image, and people still remember the person who you were, and you're not really trustworthy like that. You still can't get access to some of those brands or the quality of men that you want. At best, you can get is somebody from the clearance rack in Burlington Coat Factory or at Marshall's. You think you up there in Neiman Marcus and really you on the clearance rack at Marshall's, at TJ Maxx. And you can hear it in a voice like, hey, man, a man can't take me. Just because you say it, you see, now it's like you're trying to shame men because they don't want what you have to offer. You the poster child of women to stay the fuck away from if I want to protect my assets or if I want to start a family. You've already labeled yourself as that, as the poster child of that when you stepped into that locker room or in that conference room with Deion Sanders in front of those football players. You did it to yourself. You branded yourself that, right? And guess what? There's plenty of other women out here who aren't going to carry on like you, right? Or should I say that there's probably enough or a handful that won't carry on like you. Because it's tough for not only athletes and entertainers, it's tough for regular men out here. You know, a lot of regular men back in the days, they wish they could have been an entertainer to have access to women like that. There were really little to no allegations that came out back then because, you know, a bimbo couldn't run to the media. The only media you had was radio, television. You couldn't run. Who were you going to call? Who were you going to run to? And when you run to with a story, they're going to notify the person they're accusing first. They see, okay, there's no, there's no lawsuit behind this. There's no criminal record behind this. And what she's saying, these could be false allegations. This could ruin my reputation, not only with the artist or the athlete, but it can ruin my reputation putting out false allegations with the NFL, the NBA, right? With record labels like Universal, Atlantic, Interscope. Now I can't even interview their artists anymore and do proper journalism because I'm listening to bitches like this trying to set brothers up. So no, they didn't allow that back in those days for the most part. Some people got caught up. I'm not saying 100% of brothers didn't get caught up. Some people did get caught up. But a lot of shit was just like, hey, man, get the fuck out of here. Now it's kind of like any rumor, no matter how ridiculous it is, they give them, they have access to Baller Alert, Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked over a rumor because it's just content and likes and shares, and it generates money. And they monetize false allegations and rumors now. You can monetize a rumor now and bring somebody, the accused, out from their corner and be like, hey, man, I've never even met this person before. This person's lying. This is the cloth that she comes from. So it's like, man, if I get with her, she gonna put my business out there? Is she gonna get me? Am I gonna have to deal with her and PJ Washington's bullshit? Right? Is she gonna come through with a list of rules? Do I gotta come out the bag for her? I'm not coming out the bag for her. Right? Is she gonna make you be celibate like how Sierra did Russell Wilson after she done got slam dunked by Bow Wow, by 50 Cent, by Future, and a list of other men, previous men? So you paying, a woman is a born again virgin after she got smutted out by the industry, and you're paying for it. You're the idiot that's paying for it, and you want to. You're a Super Bowl winning quarterback in the NFL. So a lot of the decisions that are made out here, a lot of it is men's fault, right? But at the same time, women like her, they make decisions like this every day, whether they want to be around celebrities or they regular women, females that you see in your day-to-day life. They make dumbass decisions in their life like this, and now they wake up realizing, okay, I got to pay for it. Now life is getting real. And my bargaining chip, that chip is real stale now, and men don't want it. That bargaining barbecue chip that you had, it's so stale. It expired. Men want the new shit. They want the shit with flavor. I want it fresh out the oven. Your bargaining barbecue chip is too stale and men don't want it. And now life has hit you in the ass. And they're wondering, okay, man, I know the hustle. She going to play me like she did everybody else because it's a pattern. And it wasn't a mistake that you made 5-10 years ago. Man, you still fucking up this month. This month, you was fucking up. Anyways, I'm over and I'm out. You guys take care. I'll see you guys on Patreon. Peace.